This is my Rise therapy session for the core word like, and this is what it looks like in my sensory classroom. So the idea of step 1 is regulation and reconnection, and for like we're going to be looking at lots of different musical instruments. So I've got lots of different vibrating tools on offer. We've got these and we've got the bugs. Lots of the children will love these vibrating tools. Sometimes they'll be too much for some children. If so, then we're just going to use drum beats. So with our body, making drum beats and music with our body. This is all child-led. So the idea is that the children will kind of be scattered around wherever they are, wherever they're in. We're not asking them to finish their activity. We're not asking them to transition. We're coming to them and taking their lead. If they're already playing with cars, then we maybe play with cars, and think about the word like and think about what we're going to next, which is all kind of musical based stuff. How can we use what they're already doing and kind of build a bridge almost from what they're already doing, how they're stimming, how they're exploring the world, and bridge them over to help them transition to whatever we've got next, which for this section is musical instruments. That could be making a drumming pattern, that could be using whatever car they're in to do, you know, repetitive sounds, you know, whatever it is that they're doing, but it can also be using different tools and bringing them to them as well. So this is what it might look like.
Circuit time, sensory circuit time. I am grounded, steady and still, breathing deeply to the beat. Circuit time, sensory circuit time. Grounded, rested as you like.
This might be enough for some of your children. They might want to stay at the reconnection and regulation stage. That's absolutely fine. It's a really lovely way of building trust and relationships between your adults and your learners. Absolutely fine to stay here, but some of your learners might be ready for something more. So at that point, I want one of your adults to kind of step away and set up in a really clear group area the next activities. And then the children get to decide whether they move on from this and want to join over what you're doing or want to stay with this. Either is absolutely fine. So the next step is called invitation. So let's go and have a look what that might look like. So we have just had the first step, which is reconnection and regulation. All our learners are regulated and connected with our team members. Next is step 2, which is the invitation. A member of your team has stepped away and is going to set up a really inviting activity that their children might want to choose to leave their regulation step 1 and come on over. If they don't want to, it's absolutely fine. They can carry on doing that. This is what it might look like. It's really visual and really motivating to the children. I can think of a few children that would already have ran over here. Often the question I get is, but my children won't sit and watch and wait for your turn. They'll want to get involved. And my answer is, great, I love that. I want them to get into the tray. I want them to explore the rice. I want them to bang and steal my stick from me and start banging, because already that means they're ready for step 3. For the other children, they might still be at the reconnection stage, so we might do that again. And I hope that they all come and join us. Have lots of fun with the rice. And at this stage I've got a couple of people banging it to a couple of people exploring the rice in the tray, around the tray, or at least looking and interested. Now it's time for step 3, which is shared experience. I'm going to create a shared experience, a shared group experience for the learners that have chosen to come on over that we can enjoy together. Let's have a look what that looks like. I think I would start off with a few different drums so that we can all be having our own turns, and make sure there's enough rice for everybody. Pouring it all around the tray. There we go. And then I'll be modelling, putting the rice on and banging it off, and everybody will have their own sticks. Bang it. There we go. There we go. Just because this is my idea of playing with it, that I put the rice on and bang off, they might have their own ideas, which is fantastic. They might just want to be sprinkling it onto the drum, or wiggling it on the the drum, and it's all good and it's all to be encouraged and validated. The adult is to take their lead. So if a child has a really good idea like doing this, then maybe I do this with my drum. It's all good. It's all about being in the space together and being comfortable with that and getting used to that. Let's have a look what it might look like. Now we can play like this for 10, 15, 20 minutes if my learners are happy and engaged and joining in and having a great time. That's fantastic. But as I start to see my learners starting to walk away, wander off, the engagement is waning, it's time to move on to step 4, which is ending. A whole session on its own, teaching our children how to end a session and transition away from it. Let's go and have a look what that might look like. So we've done step 3, our group session, the shared experience, lovely and sensory in our group-like setting. My learners have been here for 5-10 minutes already and the interest is waning, and I can see that. So it's time to move on to step 4, which is ending. A whole session on its own, created to teach our children how to end a session and move on to whatever is next, with less fear and anxiety over what's to come. This is what it might look like.
Musical instruments go to sleep. Quiet, quiet.
The idea of this is that the ending isn't rushed. It's actually just as fun and engaging and visually pleasing as the invitation was, or as the shared experience was. I think the problem with ending is that adults are so keen to finish and move on to the next thing that they forget that actually we can be creative with the end step and we can make it just as fun and motivating to finish and tidy up an activity as we can to set it up in the first place. I think it might be really fun to scoop and sprinkle in the drum, and then once all the rice is all sprinkled into the drum, you know, that's finished. We can move that on, that's great. But the children can help me do that. Now, not all children will help me do that. Some children will just hear the finished song and move on, and that's fine too. But some of the children might want to help tidy up. It's a really important skill. And finished. And time to transition on to whatever's next. The Rise therapy sessions are a developing program. If you would like to have a go at this, I have lots of different sessions. The information is all down below. We also have a private Facebook group that anyone can join that helps us develop this program further. If you are using it, I'd love you to join. I'd love to hear what your children make of this. I really do want it to work for everybody as we're developing it. And I share more videos like this every single Monday.